What's up? This is Dynasty Mir. Wanted to shoot this video giving my opinion on the top three airlines in Africa. Again, the reason why I'm shooting this video is to, make your process as far as traveling to Africa a little more easier, a little more seamless, and I also wanted to demystify the African travel process because for some odd reason, people think traveling to Africa is so difficult when it's really easy. It's super easy. Trust me. Do it every year. So number one on my list is going to be South African Airways. Reason why South African Airways, service is great. The food on the carriers are great. The people are great. Very comfortable on the actual airlines, the plane itself. Riding coach. There's plenty of leg room in my experience. Also, too, I know they have direct flights. They offer direct flights from America nonstop to Africa. So in Miami, you could catch a direct flight to Johannesburg, and then also to out of Washington D.C. You could catch a direct flight to Dakar, Senegal, which is the flight I'm catching when I go to Dakar in November. When I go to Senegal in November. Also, too, they fly to more destinations throughout Africa as well as we're flying internationally. The only issue is, for some odd reason, when you fly internationally via South African Airways, the is pretty pricey compared to the other carriers in Africa, which is odd. So you might want to seek other options if you're flying throughout Africa. But if you want to make sure you get great service, if you want to ensure you get great service, great food, and a great flight experience, if you want to pay a little bit more, South African Airways is definitely the carrier to go to. My second on my list, number two on my list, is going to be Kenya Airways. Kenya Airways. They do fly to a lot of destinations throughout Africa, but not as many as South African Airways. And my only gripe with Kenya Airways, and again, well, I will say this: I tried my best to research this. Was I don't believe they have any direct flights from, we'll say, Washington, D.C. or New York to Nairobi. I couldn't find any. If you guys found some, let me know, and then I will definitely retract my statement. But I couldn't find any, which, I'm surprised that they don't. But again, the flight experience with Kenya Airways in Africa, a great airline, felt very comfortable on the actual carriers itself. So if you're flying country hopping throughout Africa, consider Kenya Airways as far as using them as your carrier. Which leads me to number three is going to be Ethiopian Airlines. Traveled Ethiopian Airlines. This was in 2013. Had a terrible experience. The actual carrier itself was filthy. The toilet was out of order. The ceiling tile that houses like the speakers and the lighting and the button that you push if you need to call your flight attendant, those were actually like peeling and coming down, about to fall on people's heads, which is ridiculous. I don't know who's in charge of their safety program at Ethiopian Airlines, but was definitely disappointed in that. And then also too, but I do believe they have a direct flight out of DC to Addis Ababa, which is great if you want to get to the continent. They fly to probably the same number of destinations throughout Africa as Kenya Airways. But again, the actual, like I said, the service was just terrible and not acceptable. Won't go into the whole story with Ethiopian Airlines because, kind of want to get to the point of this video, which is just giving you the top three. But the service was just despicable and terrible. And then the airport at Addis Ababa, when I got there, was absolutely probably the most unorganized experiences I've ever experienced in my life. So again, just to recap, the top three, definitely South African, Kenya Airways, and then Ethiopian Airlines is going to finish at number three at last. Check out my other videos. Please subscribe. If you have any questions, ask them, leave a comment. Go to www.searchforahuru.com. Check it out. Please donate if you feel as if the project we're working on is worthwhile. Definitely wanted to be a project where everybody can benefit from, because I think the diaspora, we need to have our own journey home programs in place for those that would love to travel to Africa and it be covered. So check out my site. Again, leave feedback, subscribe. I'm out.